technical difficulties, and we're back up alive. But so anyway, hey, we're back live. You want to take a commercial break? Or we're good. That was our commercial break.
We're good. We were just saying the last part of the bound. Where can have you bound?
Anyway, for those of us who are just joining us, I was on live streaming. We're talking about burning calories. We're talking about me being a snack man to the stars. We're talking about how I transformed into selling this Gatti and how I started helping people with bloating and gas. So now we're talking about calories and burning and being energetic. So go ahead. What was the last one?
We were going over Isaiah scripture, and you were saying about the captive and being bound.
So Isaiah 61 read, He has anointed me to teach good tidings to the poor. He's taught me to heal the brokenhearted. Those who've been captive is one who's been bound. So with that just saying that everything I've been teaching and talking about being bound, since we left, let me bring the camera down just a little bit. So
check the camera. It says maybe.
It was probably the last one, maybe, huh?
Okay.
You think so?
All right.
Maybe need to restart it. Let's see here. It's probably the last one, maybe. But whichever way, but being bound is not being able to be regulated.
Okay.
See, when something's bound, it stops, or it's suffocated, or it's suppressed. And when a person is under stress, when a person has inflammation, it gets what? Suppressed, because it has poor circulation. So in the whole scripture that's already written, God has already put me in place, but I just didn't know how to use it until, like I said, 20 years I've been teaching people about the air, the sicknesses in the air, the flu, the common cold, everything. Inflammation, they call it precipitation. Humidity, they call it dew, but it's once you swallow it, it's called you bound. And once a person's bound up, then they're under stress. I hope that makes sense.
Very good.
So getting back to these calories, how do we burn these calories and what do we need to do? Bam, you need to keep putting good nutrition in your mouth. So what are you eating? Cucumbers, celery, carrots, strawberries, whatever you could come up with that's alive, you need to start checking it out, because it has tons and tons and tons and tons of energy in it. I'll eat this all day, baby.
And that was good. It does give you that burst, hydrates you.
Well, I can't wait to get these braces off. I be trying to eat like but hey, you gotta go through something, you guys. You gotta go through something, get to something. Change your diets. Know that stress is our culprit. Stress is the #1 killer, and burn calories. That's what this whole segment was about. How do you burn calories, and what do you use to burn calories? What's the difference between burning calories and food? And burning food. Well, I would just say burn food. If you're not burning food, that means you're retaining food. If you're not burning calories, that means you're retaining food.
Right.
And I like that, the way you asked her what was combustion? I explained about combustion, but at that time you were talking about energy. And how I was telling how you have an intake.
Right.
Once you have an intake, you have to down the food 50% air, 50% food to get it to have combustion. That means now you're burning what? Calories and burning fuel. Yes, that's how that goes, people. You burn fuel, you burn calories by having intake. Your intake has to be a 50% air, 50% fuel mixture to get the proper intake to burn into your body. If you don't have a proper intake, you can't have a proper outtake, because all and everything works out off the what?
Air.
The air. God has in control of you through the what?
Air.
The air. Every sickness is in where? The air. Everybody live where? In the air. Now, the animals, I can't say they won't get the corona. They probably get it from the people or the animals that don't regulate the air, because every monkey, dog, bird, snakes, horse, you name it. They're regulating the air, folks. So,
And I want to ask you this: does Gatti help you regulate the air in your stomach?
oh, that's the whole purpose I talk about. Just Gatti to everybody. Come on. Gatti makes you burp, pass gas, and urinate.
Yes.
It regulates the air, the water, and the inflammation off of your body. The purpose of using Gatti is to get the stress off your body. And what I call stress is bloating. People are like, well, I got stress. I ain't got no stress. Well, if your stomach bloated, you got stress because your mother called it colic.
Right. And you have to burp every time you eat.
You have to. And if you don't get my message, I tell people you want to back paddle with, well, explain yourself and you don't know what you're talking to. Every one of you have a mother. Go with what your mother tell you. Feed the baby, then burp the baby. If you don't burp the baby, my baby bloated. Now, how you gonna let somebody tell you you educated and you sit there bloated and talking about I'm thick, juicy, good eating, love handling? Your mother done told you stopped up. So who you gonna go with?
Yes, and I said, tell everyone you have the price reasonable so that people can afford it.
Well, it's
and it works. It's amazing, and sometimes it works so good people get scared because they don't understand. Now I'm boo-booing every day.
well, some people used to not having a bowel movement every day. Some people are used to being under stress. And I tell you one thing that's amazing.
Wait,
since I've been under
do you
this,
have a bowel movement every day? Is that important?
well, 3 times a day. Maybe 4 to 5 times a day. You should be disposing of what you put in, especially depends on what you eat. Because see, even with the calorie burning, everybody burns different calories, different, and everybody burns at a different time.
Okay.
So you can't tell somebody when to go to the bathroom, but I can tell you if you're having an intake, you need to have a exhaust.
Yes.
Or an outtake.
Right.
So
right.
what goes in has to come out. Now that's common sense. So if I'm putting something in here and all of it's not coming out and I'm getting bigger and bigger every day, then you know something not going right.
Yeah.
So I'm not burning
calories.
There you go. That's how that goes. Yes, we have to have a bowel movement 3 to 4 times a day.
And I think society have gotten, I would say, bamboozled because the mother, every time that baby ate, that baby had a bowel movement.
Of course.
But now,
well, everybody knows that because we had to buy the Pampers.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
and that's the fathers know that because we had to buy the Pampers. Or if you, I don't know if you fathers out there doing this now, but we have to buy the Pampers. You know, the baby was using the Pampers 3, 4 times a day.
right.
So the reason, and then if it gets worse and inconsistent as it grows older and not better, you know it's putting in more intake of food by having less bowel movements. That should be a sign there that something's wrong.
Right.
I mean, how can you have as a baby 5 bowel movements a day and then as an adult have 1 every other day?
Right. That's correct.
And the intake is triple. Huh. So anyway, getting back to that other question, does people really are not, as I was, the question I wanted to reply to, people not having bowel movements. And since I've been doing this for 20 years, you'd be amazed. I've been running to so many people who don't have bowel movements every day. And the more you talk about it, the more people come out.
Right.
And that's why I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it because, see, our community is under stress now. They call it underlying conditions, but we've been, for the last 40 years, under attack when we start getting in these new strip malls and these new restaurants and everybody stopped cooking and everybody wanted to go out and be festive and let somebody else put the sodium and the fructose corn syrup and the glucose and all this food into your, or all this poison into your food while you say you're celebrating each other. So I just want for people really, I hope on my other posts, I mean even on this one, the first 5 people who put up the job that you, I think I told them, how did I say it?
Job that every human has to do daily.
A job that every human has to do daily, that should be your job, that most people don't claim, that is their job. It's a profession that's well known. It's something that everybody has to do, but don't really do it. So I told them I'd give them a free bag of tea, or either a free bar of the soap, the Gatti soap. Do what we have to do to try to get our people interested in detoxing and trying to keep their their skin clean, trying to get their nutrition into their body and try to get their waste out. So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna end it and just say if there's any other questions. If not, you guys can ask me questions about bowel movements. You can ask me questions about